welcome back to the channel, and today a very long overdue review of this knife. It's ARCOS, made in Spain, Brooklyn series chef knife. It's not a classic chef knife, it's what they call rocking SANTOKU. But again, it's not the shape, which is interesting here. I think it's a look, and that's probably the reason which I bought it. I've seen this knife online first, and they have this blue micarta handle, which I think is quite rare in the knife world, especially from a mass producer like mass manufacturer like ARCOS. And I bought it. I bought this knife. I bought a chef knife. I bought a hamon knife in the series with the same blue micarta handle. They had some very similar issues with them, which I'll talk about in a moment. But I kind of gave them away as a gift to my friends and stuff. I left this one for myself. Very interesting knife. It does have some problems, both as a knife itself and both the way it's being sold at the moment, which I will criticize in this video, ARCOS. And then towards the end, let's do some sort of like conclusions. As I go through this review, I will compare this knife to some other knives which I think share the similar similar features and so on. So this is the review, again, long overdue review. I bought this knife last summer, more than a year ago, in Spain. And the first thing I want to talk about this review is the pricing. Right now, if you want to buy this knife, let's say you like the way it looks, this one or some other knife in this similar series, or maybe chef knife would be a good choice, I'd say. If you go to American website from ARCOS, this knife will run you like $95, and a chef knife will run you a little bit over $100. And again, chef knife is a little bit bigger. This one is 190 millimeters, 7-inch. The chef knife, they have 8-inch, a little bit bigger. They have even like a larger one, 10-inch chef knife. It's a lot of money for the knife, which is just just a fully forged knife with a half bolster and a blue handle. We have missing here. It's made in China. It has better steel, a little bit better execution quality. Yeah. So also ARCOS has a very similar by design series. They call it Manhattan. Exactly the same shapes, exactly the same line of knives, but with a black plastic handle, and it makes them NSF certified. This one is not NSF certified, probably because of the handle. And they are a little bit cheaper, like $10 cheaper per knife, something like that. So with this price, I'm like, for $100, I can buy a lot of interesting knives. If I pay a little bit more than $100, it will be way better. Again, under $100, we have a lot of Chinese knives, which some of them are quite good. So we have Japanese knife, by the way. So in Spain, the price for those knives is like almost half of what they're asking in the US. Or I should say it vice versa. I should say in Spain, they sell them for normal price, but they almost double the price of those knives for US market. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's say I want to buy one more for the gift. At the moment, right now, I would have to buy it for almost, as I said, double the price of what I paid for this one in Spain. And by the way, this is how it is being sold in a plastic box with a little bit of insert. Talking about the series itself, it's not the knife, which you have here, some features and whatever. And this is how much I paid for this knife in Spain. You see, last summer, maybe right now it's a little bit more, but still it's around 40 something euros, which ARCOS is asking for this knife in Spain. So this would be my first kind of quick advice for you. If you are somehow in Spain and you want to buy a souvenir or something quite usable, This is a very good and interesting, good looking and actually good performing knife for 40 something euros. I can recommend it, but I cannot recommend you paying $100 for this knife right away. Only if you say, I don't care about the money, $100 is not that much, I just want the blue handle, I love it, it's micarta, it's good, sure, then I won't argue. So, let's look at the knife, the way it's constructed. Half bolster, angled bolster, full flat grind, relatively thick tang, as we can see, relatively thick and heavy handle. The balance is definitely towards the handle. Let me show you this. So balance like way behind the edge, even like behind the bolster, but it doesn't feel too bad because even for my relatively kind of like a medium to the large size of hands, I like this bulge on the top. It really fits quite well if I want to hold do strong grip on the knife. If I want to do pinch grip, it goes here. This hump goes here, and I feel the knife really well when I'm cooking with this one. It's 2 millimeters on the spine. Goes to relatively thin edge. It's not super thin like Misan, for example. Let me just compare those two knives because they are kind of a lot of similar features, as you can see, right? So this one is super thin, this one is not, and we'll talk about the edge in a moment. Tip is okay, the spine is rounded quite nicely, everything here is rounded okay, except of those edges, but that's just a design. But look at first of all, take a look at the heel. The way they grind the blade, here they leave this very large portion of that metal material behind the edge, and I kind of don't like it a lot because it leaves, first of all, it leaves those edges here, and they are quite rough. Hear that? And second, you kind of don't have a good control over the heel of the blade. It's like becomes thick, and because this one is like a little bit rounded, you don't have a thick edge here, but the edge is okay, but it's not, doesn't make a very good impression from a design and engineering point of view. I don't like this one. I would prefer it to be something like this. See the difference? Yes, you have a widening here, but it's way far from the actual heel of the blade, and you have a very kind of sharp heel, which I actually use. I use this portion of the blade all the time for all kinds of cooking movements. So I like this type of execution better than this one. This is thing number one. Thing number two, which I kind of don't like about the knife, but again, I'm criticizing the knife. I'm saying this is wrong. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I like the knife in general. It is my kind of. This is where I felt wrong. I felt like, oh, this knife is so bad. It's everything bad here. It's done wrong, poorly, quality not good, blah, blah, blah. I love this knife. I enjoy cooking with this knife a lot. It performs quite well. So let me criticize the edge for you, and then I will tell you how it actually performs. Look at the edge. First of all, you will see that it's the sharpened portion of the edge is very wide on both sides. What it tells us, first of all, it tells us that the angle is super acute angle, and then it's not very thin behind the edge. It's not super thin. It's okay, but not. So I'm like, what the hell? This is not a very good steel. If we have a two of the like super acute angle, it will not hold the edge. It will go dull in a moment. So I didn't like it. Second thing, it does have some sort of an issues or the way it being a grind. So here it's like thinner, here it's wider, here it's wider, here it's like not straight again. So the way they create the edge, and you've seen it on my review of the other ARCOS knife, not perfect, far from perfect. No, not good. And then they have this feature called silk edge. What it is, nobody in ARCOS can explain what it is. I think it is the polishing behind the edge, and you definitely should see it with the reflections, like what it is. What the hell is that? It's just a polishing. So as a result, what you're getting that when your angle cuts through something, behind this edge there's a little bit smoother type of I don't know, a surface instead of a regular satin finish, so it goes through the veggies and whatever you're cutting. I use it mostly for vegetables, of course. It goes super smooth, super sharp. So I was thinking that this edge will not hold itself at all, but you know what, in reality it does. I only sharpened it once in more than a year, so I hone it a little bit or strop it a little bit, and it keeps cutting very, very well. Why it keeps the edge? Because actually this knife is not good for any type of chopping cuts. I don't do chopping cuts. I don't bang it on the cutting board at all. I only use rocking cuts, which require you like a less force to be used, and then this edge works quite well, even with this relatively inexpensive, relatively not that hard of a steel. Holds really well. So I was impressed overall how it holds with time. And again, it was not very straight. I don't think you'll be able to see any curvature here on the spine. It is a little bit uneven. Like, for example, if I put it like this or like this, it has a totally different whatever. So the chef's knife was not straight. It was like a band here, and the edge was like this. So when you will be buying this knife for you, take a look at the spine. Hopefully you can make it to Spain and buy one of those. If it's straight, yeah, it's good. If it's not, you can ask in the store, can you give me another box with this knife? I'll take a look at the edge, that it's better grinded. Take a look at the spine, take a look at the handle. So mine is like, from a polishing point of view, on both sides is good. From a grinding, I see some errors in grinding. Here it's not straight, here it's not straight, a little bit not straight. It's not absolutely symmetrical. This side is a little bit thicker than this one. And also, I don't know if you'll be able to see it through the camera. Hopefully you will be able to see that. They have some sort of bluish glue, which fills the gaps. Basically, they were either gaps, or when they glued it together and used those rivets, they left this filling in there, and it's not good. It doesn't tell that the execution is a good quality. You see those little fillers here and there. Other knives with the same type of handle from the same series, which I no longer have, they had very similar, quite visible glue marks or filling marks. Again, if you will be buying such a knife in Spain, take a look to minimize those things. But on the other hand, what I can say, that through whatever more than a year I'm using this knife on a regular basis, nothing bad happened to this micarta handle. Yes, it was a little bit like a brighter color when I bought it, but it still holds quite well. It's aging as micarta should age, and still has a pretty good look, I should say. So this is the knife from a quality point of view. The other thing which I don't like about this knife is from design, of course. First of all, take a look. I think ARCOS is actually, with this knife design, is taking the inspirations from this global knife. which is introduced way longer ago than this one. This one is what, maybe 5 years on the market, 6 years on the market. You see, the Global calls this one Asian chef knife, but in reality, it's a modified Santoku, which has, instead of more like a straighter type of edge, it has curved type of edge, which is good for the rocking moves. And this is what this ARCOS says. It's a rocking Santoku. Yep, you do the rocking moves quite well with this knife. It's not good for chopping. This one's not good for chopping as well. But it's so also this recurved spine, you can't really use it. For example, when I cook with the regular, like European type of chef knife, I do this, and then I quickly flip the blade and I move whatever I was cutting, move it on the chopping board and so on. Or I use the spine to actually mince the garlic or something like that. With this knife, I can do it. With this knife, I cannot do it. It doesn't touch the cutting board. You see, there will be like a gap between your cutting board and the spine of a blade if you want to do something like this. It's not, the spine is not usable. It is rounded, yes, it's nice. So maybe not maybe, definitely is not designed to be used at all. But again, you're getting some convenience for your rocking moves with this shape of a blade, but you're losing a lot with the spine. Even like a regular Santoku has some spine which you can use, not as much as the chef's knife, but something like that. So anyway, that was my quick review of this knife. One more time, take a look at the comparison of what it is versus its grandfather versus a little bit more modern competition. So again, the Nissan should cost a little bit less than it is, but you can always buy them with the discount, with the promotion, and so on and so forth. So for good performance on the budget, I'd recommend this one. Definitely this one, if you can buy it cheaper than Nissan for 40 euros, a little bit over 40 euros, $40, also will be a very good choice for the knife. Again, if you're okay with the heavy handle, if you're okay with like a rear balance, this is where it stands. This one, again, similar shape from a point of view, again, different execution here, but it's fine. It's global, we know it is how it's contracted. But this one is again, sometimes you can't find those knives under $100, but most of the time globals cost way more than $100, and they are better, maybe more expensive, yes. So your choice. I do love this knife in general. With everything bad which I said about this knife, a lot of things which are not good about this knife, I've shown them to you. I still love it. I use it. It performs very well. Again, my final conclusion, if you can buy this one for cheap, just get it. It's not that bad. It's just makes a good impression with the look. Okay, thank you for watching and talk to you soon. I have way more knives coming up to this table, and we'll continue discussion. Bye.